my name. Interesting. Perfect. So we got everybody. We're gonna get started here in just a minute. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing great.
Let me pin her.
Yeah.
All right, we've got all of us.
Perfect.
So we can't see your beautiful face.
I know. Like, I know. I'm working still until we start.
You always have such pretty backgrounds, Annessa.
I know.
Thank you so much. This is courtesy of Canva. Me and my sacred geometry. Yeah.
Huh. You're gonna have to teach me how to do that. My background's always so boring.
Yeah. It's in it takes me a little bit, you have to kind of prompt it again and tweak it. But yeah, absolutely. I'd love to teach you.
Right, just so we can stay on time, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome into Authentically Us. My name is Angel, and I'm going to go over a little bit of kind of what's going on and what to expect tonight. So we have 5 of us that will be speaking. I'm going to do a brief introduction, and then each person is going to cover a topic of their picking tonight. Once we finish that, then we're going to open the floor for questions. Now, we're not doing any mediumship tonight. We're not doing any psychic readings or tarot or anything. These are questions to help with your growth. So questions you may have about anything we covered or just questions about your growth and where you're at in general. We may not be able to answer everybody's question, but at the end, I'll save time. Each person can kind of tell you where their link is, how you can find them and book through their website as well. So this is more of an informative type of setting. It's here to help give you guys information and clarity and knowledge. And so we're excited and happy to do this for you guys. All right. No questions just yet. Let me not do that. Habit of teaching a class. So tonight we're going to kick it off with Miss Julie Bassett. Julie is an animal shamanic practitioner. She does pet mediumship. She does animal readings. She also does energy healing on animals, all types of animals. She's going to lead us off tonight with this beautiful grounding meditation and talk a little bit about meditation. So the floor is yours, Miss Julie.
Hey, can somebody mute themselves?
Yes, everybody, please make sure your mics are muted as well. And you might have to mute them, Miss Julie. And then anybody else that has questions, you guys feel free to start asking your questions right now if you have the questions in the chat, and we'll get to them when we can. All right, Miss Julie, floor is yours.
Okay. So to get us started, I wanted to do a short grounding meditation. We've all been busy during the day. It's time for us to rest, relax, and reground. Let all the, I guess I should set a timer. Let all the stress of the day just leave your body.
I'm watching, Miss Julie.
Okay, thank you. Let's start by taking a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. Hold at the top briefly, and then exhale for a count of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in through your nose for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now put awareness at your feet. Feel your feet and your root chakra growing roots. Solidifying your connection to Earth, to Mother Gaia, Pachamama, whatever you call Mother Earth. Feel the roots sinking deeper and deeper to the core of Mother Earth. Feel your body settling. Feel your body relaxing. Now I'm calling in all of our ancestors. Please be with us tonight. Please watch over us and protect our medicine space as we share knowledge and wisdom with all who gather here. Feel your body settling. See your ancestors as they gather around, protecting us, showing their support. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all the ancestors. Thank you for being with us this evening. I set a candle of intention for the session, and once the candle goes out at the end, I will release all of our ancestors. Just relax into your body. There's nowhere else you need to be. Just be present and allow our ancestors to guide this session. Aho, and so it is. Can y'all please mute? Thank you.
That be all for you today, Miss Julie?
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much for that beautiful meditation of grounding and bringing us in. We appreciate it. And also, please, if you're coming in, make sure you keep your mics muted, please. All right. Next, we're going to bring up Annessa. Annessa is with In-Tune Healing. She's a psychic medium, Reiki master, and mentor, specializing in sacred geometry, transformative healing, and spiritual advancement. Today, Annessa will be talking to you today about how to handle energy and encounters with energy that is not your energy or energy you don't want in your energy field, and what you should be doing. The floor is yours, Annessa.
All right, thank you. So, so my name is Annessa, I'm a psychic medium, also a Reiki master, like Angel said, and one of my passions is energy work and how energy affects us and how we can use it and manage our energy. So I am a very big advocate for energetic hygiene. So as we move through this spiritual journey that we're on, you know, there's all kinds of different levels. There's a beginner, there's intermediate, there's professional, but it doesn't matter where you're at in that, anywhere. Energetic hygiene is of the utmost importance. Protection, grounding, clearing. It helps manage what you're allowing in your field and the spiritual boundaries. So our theme today is the thinning of the veil. And as the veil thins, and I think a lot of us can see and feel that there is more and more encounters. We're having more encounters with spirit, more encounters with entities, elementals, whatever the case may be, guides. But one of the most important things is we want to make sure that we're having encounters that are for our highest good. And how do we make sure that we are having those encounters and they're for our highest good? Or if we have something that does happen and we don't like it, or we don't like the feel of it, or if we're just not interested in that right now, how do we get rid of it and manage it? So that's what I'm going to be talking about in a nutshell. So with the way any practice goes, it's important to set intention. Intention paves the way and sets the goal. It's like the setting the compass and the arrow. What direction am I going to go into? It gives you an energetic purpose. So, and an intention can be just as simple as stating a goal. It's whatever you want to accomplish. So, that giving yourself an energetic pathway that will help also only invite in things that are for your highest good, along with the encounters that you want to have. Because, if you don't want to do mediumship, then, you need to set that boundary. If all you want to do is talk to your guides, or let's say I want to do a spirit animal, we have to set those boundaries and we have to set those intentions. So, one of the things I like to work in, and because we are talking about the thinning of the veil, let's say you do encounter something you don't like. I've seen a lot of people talk about like sleep paralysis. I've seen a lot of people talk about shadow people, or seeing or feeling things that they don't like. What I like to do is I like to work in the white light. So you can say I bring in the white light for protection and guidance, for all things seen and unseen, all forces, and all elements. And what's important there is not so much the words, but the intention of bringing in the white light, doing the visualization, making it so you're surrounding yourself with the white light. Some of people call it the white light of protection, and then angelic light, Christ light, any of those things. And I like to work in layers. So then I'll also call in Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael, protect me and guide me through this space. Or get rid of whatever it is that I don't want. And then you can visualize him either escorting it out, striking with the sword. It really, there is no limitations to the way that you can visualize these things. And let's say you're one of these people that can't visualize it because you have trouble seeing it in your mind's eye, say the word. So right there, with the intention of what you want to accomplish, saying the words and using the energetics behind it will bring in your protection and guidance. Same thing with grounding. Say the words. Imagine your root chakra attaching to Mother Earth, and say the words grounded. That's a way to transmute and ground and balance. But the main thing is intention. So, and if you have questions about that, feel free to reach out. And we're just basically kind of skimming through and just giving tips and pointers today. So if anybody has any questions about that, let me know afterwards. And with that, I will pass the baton, so to speak. But that's energetic hygiene in a nutshell of how to set an intention.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Annessa. Thank you. So next we're going to have up Sue. So Miss Sue is an initiated Celtic shaman, energy healer, Wicca high priestess, and spiritual teacher in the shamanic lineage, and devoted to awakening the sacred within. I know I probably butchered like 5 of those things in there, but in a nutshell, Miss Sue today is going to be talking about creating and using ancestor altars and how to work with your ancestors. So Miss Sue, the floor is yours.
Hey, everybody. It's so nice to see so many friends and new friends. So thank you for joining. When we were talking about this call and what we wanted to talk about, it's, beyond the veil. And Samhain, which we know is Halloween, is a sacred time. And this time is known for when the veil is the thinnest. And it's a time that we can also connect with and honor our ancestors as we step into the Wicca New Year. And so I wanted to talk to you about something really close to my heart, our ancestor altars. Does anybody have one? So this is a simple and sacred practice that can connect us to where we come from, and it helps us remember our loved ones, the known and even the ones that we don't know. When we talk about our growth and healing, we often look forward, right? But to who we're becoming. And it's also important to look at the whole picture, where we came from and where, and those we come from. Our ancestors are the roots beneath our tree. Their stories, their work, their love, their lessons, they still live within us. And creating an ancestor altar is a way of saying, I see you, I honor you, thank you for all you did for us and for the life that flows through me now. So our ancestors, we lived in them, and they live in us through our DNA. And they are very much alive. Now, we also know spiritually that we have never been born and we never die. Energy doesn't just evaporate, we transform into something else. So when somebody passes, they take off this earthly suit and they continue their journey. And it's really hard for us too that have lost people, and we grieve. And an ancestor altar is also a wonderful way to honor them. And by honoring them, by creating an altar, remembering them, it's actually a prayer. And when we pray, the altar is the face of God, the face of the divine, Tonkishula, Yahweh, Adonai, whatever name you use. And it's a very holy and sacred space. Energy pours into the altar. And so we can build an altar and light a candle. I'll tell you a few things how to create the altar. But our prayers are elevating our ancestors on the other side. And so we do it, the altar is for us and to honor where we came from, but it's also a working space, a holy space, where we elevate those that came before us on the next leg of their journey. And we can transform, using this altar, we can transform old pain into strength, fear into courage, and separation into belonging. And the ancestor altar is really a bridge between the seen and the unseen, between honoring our ancestors through healing and remembrance. And we support them, we lift them up on the other side of the veil. Now, to create an ancestor altar, I don't have a lot of time, but to create an ancestor altar, it doesn't have to be elaborate. It's about love and intention. It's not about perfection. It can be a small space, a windowsill, a shelf, a corner in your home. You can use a white cloth that would symbolize light and purity. You can add photos, keepsakes of your loved ones. If your grandmother loves the sea, you can have a seashell, symbolic, or a tool that somebody that worked with their hands. You can add a candle to represent their light, a glass of water, a cup of coffee, flowers, incense, crystals, even a small piece of their favorite food as an offering. The key is what feels sacred to you. So once your altar is created, visit it often. This altar is the face of the divine and holy. Keep it clean and alive. Don't let it go to dust. Don't forget about it. Change it frequently. Keep it clean. And you can pray, meditate, or just listen quietly. And you might even get some answers. And you can journal. You might get answers in your dreams or signs or messages. So ask for guidance or for gratitude, and you'll feel their presence, maybe in a breeze, a dream, a song. They find ways to reach back when we open that door, and we are always connected. When we honor our ancestors, we don't just heal ourselves, we heal our entire lineage. Everyone is blessed. And our altar becomes like a living portal, a meeting place between heaven and earth, where forgiveness, wisdom, and blessings flow freely. And if you ever feel disconnected or alone, Start with an ancestor altar. You're never alone. Pour a glass of water, whisper their names, and remember, you are the living dream of those who came before you. I made a PDF for you guys and as a gift, and I'll mail it to you so that you don't have to worry about remembering everything. Everything's on the PDF. And thank you for coming. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you, Miss Sue. And next, and then we have Kimberly. Kimberly is a psychic medium. She's also part of the Edgar Casey Foundation. She does a lot of events and she's been around for a long time and has a lot of knowledge. So Kimberly today will be talking about reflection on your harvest and what you let go of. Floor is yours, Kimberly.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, during a full moon, we really want to focus on what are we letting go of? What no longer serves us? This can be things such as negative self-talk. It can be unhealthy patterns. It can be unhealthy relationships, even in the family. So when you don't feel in alignment with yourself, you will feel that in your body at some point. And usually it's in our gut because gut instinct, correct? So we want to let go of things that are no longer serving us. So now we've let go of that. So what do we invite in? So we want to invite in healthy communication. We want to invite in affirmations of empowerment, of positivity, of discernment with spirit as well. Another thing that we should bring in, healthy relationships. This is not only with other people. It is also, maybe it's with your finances. What kind of relationship do you have with your money? What kind of relationship do you have with the food you eat? What kind of relationship do you have with social media? Everything, moderation is the key, of course, but we want to invite in what works for us, right? And so it's a great time to push out the negative and usher in the positive. And that's what we are really kind of doing this time for this moon. And that's it.
Thank you, Kimberly, for that. Appreciate that. I guess that leaves me finally, huh? Me last. Hi, everybody. I'm Angel. I'm your friendly neighborhood galactic traveler. So I wanted to talk about just real quick some of you are experiencing light codes coming in, light language coming in, understanding these different orbs that are different color. In your dreams, you're seeing these beautiful beings with long white hair, crystal blue eyes that are coming in. I call them your kin. What I want to tell you about that, with this veil being thin and with the energy shifting, don't be afraid. When we initiate fear with them, we put fear within ourselves. Ask them what they're there for. Ask them what their names are. Ask them what it is that they are coming to bring you, what knowledge. Some of us are holding ancient DNA codes, galactic information, information from past lives. All of this ties together. Our ancestors are even bringing in this information. Um, but as they come in, write these things down, journal these things down, and meditate with them. Ground yourself first. Ground in earth. Put your feet on the ground. Ground, meditate, and ask, what does the symbol mean? What is this language? Who is this person that visited me? Because now that this veil is thinning, the veil is taking away the unseen and bringing the unseen to the seen world. So it's going to be here and around. And if you have any more questions on that, you can reach out to me. Now, let's open the floor for questions. Anybody have any questions?
Were we going to have them unmute, or are you going to call on somebody? Or I guess maybe we should say, how the question should be presented.
So you can type the questions in the chat, Or you could raise your hand. We have this little raise hand feature and you can ask the question. However you want to do it. Does anybody have any questions today? I got it on grid view so I can see if you raise your hand. Or you could type it in the chat. We're not doing any readings today, Andrew. I'm sorry. So we won't be able to answer the questions on your love life. You can book with Annessa does love readings. And so does Kimberly, I believe, right?
Yes.
How can you honor or connect to your interdimensional spirit guides? I think this kind of falls under the category with Sue talking about ancestors, because ancestors fall into that interdimensional spirit guides and guides, right, Miss Sue?
Spirit guide, no, our ancestors are our ancestors. They may guide us, they may teach us, they protect us, but they wouldn't be considered our spiritual guides. We are born with 4 guides. And through our lifetime, we have many teachers, many beings that offer insight, but we have 4 spiritual guides, and their sole purpose is to our spiritual progression. So I would need to know specifically if you want to ask something specific about that. That would be helpful. And I was reading that, Angel, in your wheelhouse. Intergalactic guides.
After I reread it, so to connect with your interdimensional guides, first starts with foundation of healing. You want to make sure your energy is flowing through your body, connected, grounded in earth itself. And then as you invite them in, you want to make sure A, you have the protection around you, and B, that you feel their energy. Don't try to just expect them to come in and speak and talk. You got to feel their energy. The Arcturians have different energy. Their energy is of loving from the heart space. The Pleiadians, they're more grounded, more earthly. There's your fairies and things of that nature. So it depends on your intention and understanding and feeling their energy first. So when you invite them in, ask them for a sign. So if you want to talk with the Pleiadians, ask the fairies to leave you a gift on your front porch. Most of the time, they'll leave you like a penny or a dime or a little rock or something. You'll find it on your porch. So that's a way to invite them in and also feel their energy when they come in. But don't rush it because they really pay attention to our body. So excitement to them still feels like fear to them. Fear to them feels like fear. When you really elevate that heart and you don't stay in a calm space from the heart center, it's hard for them to come in and you really feel that energy. I hope that helps.
Also,
So
guys, if you notice, I'm sorry, if you notice on your Zoom screen, the same place where you have your audio and video, you'll notice the react button and you can raise your hand.
thank you.
Depends on what device you're on, though.
And about your interdimensional spirit here, I noticed you said for a dragon. So I think Angel and I both work with dragons, and I also work with guides myself. So I think that calling them in and doing meditations to meet them is also a very good way to open up lines of communication.
Yes. And dragons are so shy. I have a dragon spirit guide and want to connect more. I would love to touch on that, but I answered the question. So I'm gonna jump up here to with each incarnation, do we typically use the same healing tools, gifts? Do we develop brand new healing gifts that we haven't used previously?
I'd like to answer that. I feel like we are gifted with the gifts that will enable us to learn what we're choosing to learn when we come here. For example, we may have a life here where the gifts are not apparent. There's still a learning process. We may come in and develop more and more. And I do think that we bring essence of that with us. I know that I have memories of from past lives that I don't think that they just get thrown to the wayside when you reincarnate. I believe there's still that essence there.
I like it. Uh, Spirit guides. I was told as we raise our vibration, we get different higher level guides, not the same four. Anyone want to answer that? Chime in on that, spirit guides?
Yeah. Yeah, I can. But I've been doing classes on spirit guides and meeting guides, and as somebody who acquired different guides in different Reiki attunements, and as we consider ourselves leveling up or raising our vibration, I don't necessarily think that we meet higher level ones, so to speak. I think that we meet the ones that we are supposed to learn from at the time. So it's all about the journey, and it's all about what we're supposed to learn and grow from. So, and we're not always in the same vibration. Sometimes we raise our vibration and it might come down a little bit. So, energy always ebbs and flows. So we meet the guys we're supposed to meet when the time is right.
Absolutely. So, David, I had to scroll back up. He said, for those who have spoken, how did you have, and I'm guessing he meant our experiences. How do we have any experiences? Like, what was our experiences like? Right, David? Okay. Um, for me, I'll just start off. For me, when I was young, and I'll be quick in case anybody else wants to chime in. When I was about 3 or 4, I was coming out of my body. That's when my experiences started. I would wake up, go to turn on the light in my bedroom as like a 5-year-old because I was scared of the dark. And then I would look back and see my body and all these galactic beings standing by me. As I entered my body would be paralyzed and I would finally get a scream out. And of course, I grew up in Alabama, so my mom would come in and we would pray, and then I would look with my physical eyes, and these beings would still be standing there. So it started about when I was young. My experiences started, and then I would just know things as a kid that I shouldn't know. And it continued on into adulthood. No matter where I tried to run, it always followed and caught me. So, and I tried to run from it. Trust me. Anybody else want to answer that?
I can. I was a kid that saw things. I saw people, different beings, and I felt things. I was quite dysfunctional because, you know, as we're in a certain range of people, we're in their aura, we're in their we're in their aura, their soul body, their spirit body. And I'm really empathic. And so I would feel angry, sad, happy, silly, all within, 5 minutes. So, but, we don't know what we don't know. And we think everybody else has the same lens that they see through. And so, you learn to be quiet. I remember driving in the station wagon in the back, the kids bouncing around, no seatbelts, right? Anybody remember those days? And yeah. And, my mother would be driving around and I would see people dressed in colonial clothing at historic houses, with the wagons and the horses. And but I didn't know. And after a while, and I remember having, when I did ballet, I played with this girl, Mary, at ballet all the time. And it was close to recital time in May. And the teacher said, "So is everybody here?" And I said, "Mary's not here." And she looks at me and she's like, "There's no Mary in class." But I played with her. I played with her every week. And I was just like, and I'm shy, so I didn't want to stand out or look foolish. But like, you learn not to say anything. I remember I was doing an expo at the Jacob Javits Center in New York. And I was walking to dinner after a long day on my feet. And I'm walking down the street with a friend of mine, and there's a guy coming in the opposite direction he was blue. He was blue like Terry's shirt, if you could see Terry. He was like the blue man, and he only had one eye, and he was dressed in a suit, and I just was like, and he walked right by me groaning, and I was like, no, nobody else. Uh, was alarmed. Nobody else was alarmed. And, so I see things. I hear things. And I'm very empathic. I began my studies with my teacher, and so I learned how to turn on and off the empathy. And that's my superpower because I do a lot of healing work and I do a lot of spiritual teaching. And so I turn it on and off at will, which is what a blessing, because being on all the time, if any empaths out there, you know how exhausting it is, right? Who's an empath? Yeah, it's exhausting. And so I'm really happy. Now I can go into supermarkets, I can go into the city, I can work with my clients and not feel the depression coming 3 days before it gets to my office. Um, so, um, but that also, those heightened skills, I didn't know how to work with them because we don't have the medicine people, the tribe, the elders that would say, "Hey, Sue, come with me, study with Auntie, learn about this." So, we're in a world where sometimes it's really hard to function because we don't have somebody mentoring us. Although now with the new age, more and more people are waking up and saying, I get more and more like muggles coming to my office. They have no idea, no idea. They just know that they're really super uncomfortable. I was referred, so somebody thought highly of me. They come in and they feel better. But the world is waking up. So you guys, I'm so happy to see you here.
Thank you, Miss Sue. Kate, I seen you raised your hand, so you can unmute. What question do you have?
Yeah, my question is for Sue. So, Sue, how can I better
Yes.
navigate the turning on and off of the empathic abilities? For example, I had a session with a client today, and I was very aware that she was having issues like in her right hip and just a lot of
Yeah.
body things that were showing up in my vessel as like a conduit.
Yeah.
So I dealt with that in the process. I would like for you to make statements on that if you could. But afterwards, I felt like I was still pretty open, even though I felt like I sealed my field.
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
any advice for that, please?
Um, Yeah, there's a lot of people that will talk about the bubble of light, put a bubble of light over you, seal yourself. The only problem I found with that was that it's not sustainable. You get tired, you go to sleep. And so you have to be on all the time. It's like kind of like you're lifting weights all the time. For me, when I found my teacher, and I was initiated, I was sealed in the light and boom, that was, there's many other gifts that this initiation offered. And I didn't realize because I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know what was normal, right? We just struggle. So what was helpful for me is you can put a bowl of salt underneath your table if you work with a table. Your physical and mental and spiritual hygiene is really, really important. If you're working on other people, it's like, protect your space, protect your body, know who you're working with. And then afterwards, hygiene, like a spiritual bath. I would always bathe every day after clients. Even if I took a shower in the morning, at the end, I would just be rinsing off. Salt in the water is really great. Um, crystals are great. Black tourmaline. Um, uh, um, what is it? Not
I
pyro, is it
utilized a lot of selenite.
selenite is not really, it's okay. It's a beautiful, beautiful stone, but that will help clean your aura, but it's not like a protector. Black tourmaline
Okay.
is the bomb. I make magical oils like protection. We should be anointing our feet.
Ooh,
Anointing our chakras, protection points. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can do.
I've been getting a lot of images about red ribbons or sashes around the solar plexus, sacral, and root area.
Try it.
What does that?
Try it.
Yeah, try it. Okay.
Well, red is really good for grounding. Like,
Okay.
wear red socks. And open up your feet, let the earth pour out, go lay on the grass, go hug a tree. There's try all the things, and each of us might have our own favorites, but it's good to have, and it's also good to write a list. So if you're feeling like crap, you just look down I feel like crap. So what can I do? Sometimes it's the hygiene stuff, and then sometimes it's watching like Mary Poppins and eating a bowl of popcorn and ice
We just
cream
talked about
and
this.
laughter, right?
Yes, we did talk about this, Angel.
We just talked about this.
We did. Spirit confirms. It's fine.
Good
Thank
luck,
you, Sue.
Good luck,
I
Kate.
appreciate you.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you. I appreciate you
So,
too.
Can I
Andrew, I
comment?
see.
Can I comment on this? Because I think it's
Absolutely.
interesting, those that, we're receiving information from people that are around us. We don't want it all the time. Imagine a wind in a sail, and it's a strong wind, and it is just barely taking it. What I do is imagine that piece of canvas has slits in it, and the wind goes right through it. So my suggestion is let these things pass through you. Do not hold on to them. They are not yours. But letting them pass through you, recognize them, acknowledge them, and let them pass on. That's how I do it.
Thank
Like
you,
that.
Kimberly. I like that. I actually told a client today that I put it in the send it tube. I don't know if y'all remember the tubes from the banking system, like
Yes.
for transactions, like the hard plastic tubes. I'm like, if you have any self-limiting beliefs or anything that is like a nuisance or like ruminating thoughts, I'm like, slap it in the tube and send it.
Yes.
That's always worked for me, but like sometimes I forget. But our own advice technically is spirit speaking through us as a mirror. And I'm just like, yeah.
Thank you, Kate. I appreciate you. So I seen Andrew had his hand raised, but he put his hand down. So his question is, can someone's spirit guides be an archangel?
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely. I'll take this one. This one's right in my wheelhouse. Especially because I work with several of them. And I think there are a few of us that do. Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. I specifically work with Metatron to channel in sacred geometry, Asriel, Ariel, and they personal spirit guides. Yes, they can also be your personal ones as well. The angelic realm is one that you can call on for specific needs. Archangel Michael, protect me. Archangel Raphael, help me with this healing. Um, so yes, spirit guides can absolutely be archangels. And if you want to work with one of them, you just need to ask. The angels are always telling me that whenever I do sessions, part of what I do is asking when I tap in and I ask for guides to come through. And when I'm looking energetically, sometimes an angel shows up, sometimes it's a guardian angel, sometimes it's an archangel. And the message is always, I want to be more present. It's almost like tag me in. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to help. But with the angels, they often can't interfere in our lives. They have to be asked into our life. So if you want to work, my advice is if you want to work with any of them, invite them in. Archangel Michael, help me with this. Archangel Raphael, help me with this. So yes, absolutely, they can be. And you can ask them to sit with you daily you can ask them to stick with you permanently. So yeah, absolutely they can be.
I'd like to hop in here too. I work with Archangel Ariel a lot because she's works with the animals. She's in charge of like all the animal communicators and communication. She's all about nature. I also work with Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael when I do my healing work. So yes, they can be your guides. They can also be there to assist you whenever you need them. You just need to ask because of free will, you know, you've got to ask, and then they're more than happy to support us.
Thank you, Julie. You've been quiet, so this question is for you, Miss Julie. Can our pets provide us an additional layer of protection individually or in our home just by their presence? And do our pets stay with us after passing? So it's two different people, but two questions for you.
Awesome. Yes, for the most part, dogs are our protectors in the physical realm. Cats are our protectors in the spiritual realm. But dogs can see spirits just as cats do. And I've seen cats protect humans in the physical world too. So it's not an absolute. And yes, more often than not, they are around us when after they pass. I get, in my pet mediumship, they're always around, they're always there to support, they're always there to help protect and guide us and share their wisdom. Did I get all the questions?
Yes, you
Okay.
did. Thank you, Miss Julie. So do you feel there's an inner earth living dimension just as there's an outer space? Absolutely. There's a huge crystal in the center of the earth with some beautiful Lemurian people sitting there. Can we go there? I'll save that answer for another day. But there absolutely is a center of the earth. And it is living, and there is living beings there, the Lemurians. So yes, to answer that question. I'm gonna scroll down.
Angel,
Yes.
the very first question that came up was someone had asked, how do I protect my 2-year-old?
Oh, yeah.
So when it comes to children, I can tell you
Oh, thank you. I missed that.
it was the very first one. And a Himalayan salt lamp is amazing in your child's room. If you have a child that is older and they do see spirit, and this happened to me, what you do is give them a piece of paper, box of crayons, have them draw it. Say they're drawing it in darker shades, maybe in black because it was a shadow person. Okay, that looks a little bit trepidatious, doesn't it? So what we're doing is you get some glue, you get some glitter, and you draw wings on the shadow person. Make it fun. Make them realize that they are just like us. Their energy is in a different plane, but they're just like us, and that it's not something to be afraid of.
Well, thank you, Kimberly. I'm sorry I missed that question. Uh, Damien has his hand raised. You have the floor, Damien. Unmute yourself. What question do you have? All right, I'm gonna go to, you typed it over here. How does one control clairvoyance and clairaudience? How do you control that is the question.
Practice, practice, practice.
Agree. Agree. Same way to strengthen it. They talk about intuition being a muscle, you know. Same thing with clairaudience, same thing with clairvoyance, you know. I talk about leaning into it and exploring it when we're hearing something, seeing something, feeling something. Think about it, explore it, write it down. All of that will strengthen it.
I've also
Yes.
known people that it really negatively impacts their life. And sometimes these gates are open too much, and healing work with somebody that knows how to do that work can help balance it so it's not so um, debilitating.
The other
In
thing,
my tradition, initiation would help. So there's things that we can do.
the other thing is call in your spirit guides, ask them to turn it off or set office hours and say, I don't want to have these gifts, except between 6 and 8 p.m. because I don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night. I don't want to be bothered while I'm at work. So set your own boundaries with that.
Absolutely do that. Set my boundaries because I have so much galactic presence and earthly presence that after about 5 o'clock every day, anybody that knows me, 5:30, you can't ask me a question. I have no idea. I'm watching football or I'm outside chasing an animal up and down the street. Like I got office hours. So, but the way I do it is I don't know how everybody else do, but how I do, I close off my chakras. So I imagine I go through my chakras, I do a chakra check and balance, and then I just start closing the doors on all of them. And I close my energy. And I always carry some black tourmaline in my pocket. I got a piece in my pocket right now. It's the other pocket. Hold on. But I always keep a piece of black tourmaline with me, on me, around me. But that's what I do. So I just close the door to my chakras. I close them off because I know I'm gonna get up in the morning. I'm a ground. I'm a balance. I'm a check in with myself, my energy, see if any motion, shadow work, anything, and then I open my energy back up. So that's one way I help balance mine. And it helps me, like Sue said, out in public. When I'm out in public, I'm not so susceptible to all the noise, picking up anybody's energy or anything. I can just flow, go to Walmart or wherever I need to go in peace. Um, so I do have off. And Saturday and Sunday, I'm just not on at all. I'm closed for business. How do you find your spirit guides? Is the next question.
So for me, when I started to discover my spirit guides, I think the best thing and best advice that I can say to somebody just starting out is don't think it's just going to happen in the way that you see like in the movies, where it's like an apparition that comes to you and you get like this moment where you have them look what looks like a physical embodiment of them. Sometimes it's seeing them, sometimes it's hearing them, sometimes it's feeling them. It's in all different kinds of ways. And really the way to get in touch with them is really just to ask. A meditation with intention, take me to my guides, a sacred meditation, a sacred meeting place, ask one to step forth, and really just ask. And then whatever comes, write it down, journal it, because then you're going to start to see patterns, and just keep your mind open, because sometimes they don't come in ways that we think that it happens. When that was my biggest breakthrough, is I started to know that I was hearing my spirit guides, and it was like, is this me? Or is this a spirit guide? And then I noticed that the words were just a little different. The sound was a little different. There was a different accent. And it's like, no, that's not me. That's a guide. And I started to realize, I thought I was going to meet one, like it was coming to me, and we were going to talk, and like it was going to be like this physical meeting, or one I saw in my dreams, which does happen. But when I started to realize that the communication was happening just as me listening, like you hear your inner talk, that's when I started to have breakthroughs, and I started to realize that different ones were coming in. And then you can always just ask. But meditation with intention, I'd say, is probably the best way to start. A guided meditation helps too.
Yeah, I suggest a guided meditation, and don't expect it to happen right away. I tried, and sometimes you get in your own way because you're trying so hard. And when I let go and just said, okay, I want to meet one of my spirit guides, but if I don't, I don't. I saw an image of a Native American facing this way. He told me his name was Whitetail. And so I looked it up. Being the curious me, I looked it up to see if this was a real person or not. And sure enough, that picture that I saw this way was this way. There was a whitetail from the 1600s, same exact image, except it was inverted, and you can't make this stuff up. And that was my main spirit guide and has been with me ever since, probably since I was little. So don't give up, just keep trying and just be open to however you receive information, because it can come in any way. And sometimes you just see a color. Sometimes they just show up as energy and not as a physical image. So just be open to anything.
Thank you, Miss Julie. Thank you, Annessa. It says, with so much attention on black tourmaline, if I have a pretty big supply in my bedroom where I do a lot of my meditations, is there any possibility that it could interfere with my meditation quality? I don't think so, because black tourmaline stands for protection. So if anything, you got a lot of protection because you're sitting on some black tourmaline. So in my opinion, I don't think so. Anybody want to chime in on that? I feel like it's just protection. That's what
It
it does.
is. It's protection. It again, it's for the intention of it, and it's not like it's going to be like, you know how you have interference with like radio waves. You're Nothing that comes in a stone form can interfere with your channel. The only thing that can interfere with your channel is really the blocks that you put there energetically, that we haven't figured out a way around yet. But a stone definitely won't block any channels, especially because you're asking for things to come in for your highest good. So it actually helps to create a better pathway for you of protection, because we're only allowing things for our highest good to come in. So that's actually protecting your channel more, I would think.
Thank you, Annessa. And Andrew says he wants to book a session with you, Annessa, if you could message him so he can book a session with you.
Sure. Have him. We'll have to talk, because I don't know if we can go back and see comments in this or anything, but our websites will be available at the end. And Andrew, I'll look back at our comments to see if I can find you. If I'll look you up, we'll figure it out. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Sierra, I seen your hand raised. You have the floor. You're gonna unmute and ask your question.
Hello, everyone. As I learn, I have always had visions ever since a kid, going on to now, and I always thought it was regards to daydreaming while I'm awoke. Is there any way to shut that off?
Uh, are these visions like past, present, or future, or are they just
It's always it's always something, like I would say, negative, and something happening to someone or something. It's always like tragic that's in
so?
front of my face very clearly. Yeah.
What this is those what you're seeing is showing you shadow work. Start journaling them down and look in the shadow work of what it is. See what your guides are trying to show you that you need to release out of your energy field, and then you'll notice they'll start to go away. Because a lot of times visions come in like that through dreams. It's when we're not listening to our inner self that's telling us we need to heal, we need to heal. So it gets a little more drastic. So you're getting these visions. Start journaling down those visions. Look for the repeating cycle. See what it is you need to release out of your energy field to let go of, and then you'll notice they'll start to go away.
I also do a shamanic energy or shamanic dream interpretation, where your subconscious knows what your dream or your visions are about, and I can help you to find out the true meaning. And once that true meaning is known, those visions or dreams go away.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you can ask your guides too, and ask, Archangel Michael's source, God, whatever your belief system is too, to help you and protect you from that, and that you set that boundary, shut that down. I don't want this. Protect me from this. Because if it's something that's bothering you, again, we're talking about doing things for our highest good and only allowing things that are helpful and that are within our alignment. So if it's something that's not helping you or within your alignment, then ask your guides to come in and shut that down. You can set a boundary for that as well.
I love boundaries. They're like, I'm telling you, with the spirit world, setting them boundaries,
Essential.
it make a whole world of difference. Even if you're being woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. My aunt, when she passed, woke me up at 3:30. I said, "Oh no, you're in the spirit world. I'll talk to you tomorrow." And I shut the door real quick on her. Like, let's see. Let's see. So I have encountered a few entities now, not sure who they are. Are they likely to be spirit guides, just folks dropping in with messages? Is fairly quick, so it's over before I can speak. Would anybody like to chime in on how she could help maybe tune this in and get more clarity on this?
I think a lot of apparitions that we do encounter, a lot of them are residual energy as well from either the land, the home, something like that. So it's not always a spirit guide or something like that. A lot of times it's simply residual energy.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Kim. Has anyone ever had a spirit to cross a boundary after setting one?
No,
No.
we all have
No.
dominion over anything in spirit.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I think that's a tough one, because sometimes there are tricky ones, and maybe it's just me, and it only happened to me once, and I had to elevate my uh layer and who I asked to come in to help me set that boundary and solidify it. So I guess too, if it's something that, if they do cross the boundary, or you do have to refortify these boundaries, once in a while too. So I just think it's something to keep conscious of. So it doesn't happen very often, but it can happen to me in my experience anyway. But then you just level up and reset your boundary and ask for other assistance from, for me, it's the archangels. So
I see you, but you've already answered a question. So Alicia, you had your hand up. Do you still want to ask your question?
It wasn't a question. I was just saying, I was responding to, has anybody set boundaries? And then they were broken. And I was like, yes. I
Oh,
was very specific. It was me being touched while I was sleeping. And the first time it happened, I was like, I'm not to be touched, freaked me out. And I said it every night for a long time. And then I was like, all right, they got it. And then just last week, I was touched again. So I'm like, no. So yeah, I guess sometimes they can be broken.
thank you. All right, Kate, what's your question?
Oh, well, I completely forgot, in all honesty, but no, I didn't. Okay. It had to do with black tourmaline. So y'all don't know, but I used to work at a crystal shop, and Spirit allowed me to explore quite a bit with that. And what I learned from black tourmaline, it is like a vacuum cleaner. I love black tourmaline. It is such a beautiful stone. It is so great for boundaries and protection, especially in doorways and windows. But the one thing that I encountered was that black tourmaline is very amplifying. It gave me kind of the same energy as clear quartz. and I could not sleep with it in my room. It made me very restless. So when I substituted that out for magnetite and hematite, I was capable of getting more rest with it. But if I wanted to channel and do dreamscape work, I love Shattuckite for that. I don't know why, but it's a great stone for that. That's all I think I was going to say.
Thank you, Kate. What is y'all experience with Moldavite? I love Moldavite. I got on a piece right now, and I went to buy another piece. I absolutely love Moldavite. One of my favorite stones, hands down. But I'll let Sue, Kimberly, Julie, or Annessa answer this because I'm not a crystal person, but I love Moldavite. That's my experience with it. Give me all the
Oh,
Moldavite in the world.
yeah, moldavite. And a lot of people say stay away from moldavite, moldavite will wreck your life, and I think moldavite's like a truth bringer, like an alignment bringer. I think that you have, like with anything, this is like my theme, I guess, for the night. You have to give it an intention, you have to give it an assignment, and you have to give it boundaries. This is what I want for my life. And for me, I wear it with Herkimer. I have moldavite earrings, rings, necklace. I wear it all together. I think also that you don't give stones the power. They don't have the power to wreck our life. So if you think that wearing something is going to wreck your life, then your thoughts are bringing that into your life, not the stone. So, but moldavite can amplify your path and set it. I mean, you're going to be laser focused into that path. So don't wear moldavite unless you're sure about where you want to go, because it's going to start clearing that path for you like a bulldozer to run you right into your highest good or wherever your goals were that you wanted to go. It brings you into an alignment for it. I love moldavite. I think it's a powerful tool. And I think with anything, you have to give it an intention.
And hematite's very grounding. Some people can't handle it because it's so grounding, but I love it.
So we got a question from Chanel. You got your hand raised. What's your question?
I don't have a question. I was just gonna reply to Kat about my experience with mobile diet. I purchased my piece and I wear it daily. I purchased it in 2023, in April, and that year, 23 was my year where I went through so much. I lost my dad. My marriage was rocky. Um, our finances took a hit, and it just really broke me down to rebuild me and put me on the path that I'm on today. So I agree with Annessa. If you're not ready for that transformation, if you're not ready for changing your life, then don't play around with Moldavite. But if you're ready, it's definitely going to prepare you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
absolutely. Love mine. We got time for one or two more questions. So Andrew said, my last question here, whenever I'm underwater, taking a bath or swimming, I hear female voices calling my name. Sometimes it's soft, sometimes it's loud, just my name being called. Andrew, I think that you and Annessa will address this in that session, and I can almost promise you she'll be able to answer these questions for you in depth. So that's kind of in a line of a reading. So since you're already going to book with her, I'm going to let her address that for you in their session. You're welcome. But anybody got any more questions? I'm going to go back to the center of the earth because that question kind of sat with me. I really didn't answer that question. So when we look at the center of the earth and the crystalline grid, we're all connected to the crystalline grid. Our energy is part of the crystalline grid. So everybody's like, I got to heal the crystalline grid. We are the crystalline grid. Our energy is wrapped. We're the grid. We're the energy that never goes away. So Mother Earth does have a core. The legend has it. I'm gonna use legend for now, has it that the Lemurians rebuilt from Moon to the center of the earth. And they rebuilt using a giant crystal that is in the center of the earth. And they have rebuilt their population, and that's where they exist. Now, I'm going to say legend has it. I'm going to leave it at that because I could go all day on the legends or what I've seen. But there is a center of the earth. There are people in the center of the earth. There are many things in the center of the earth. So just to go back and answer that question for someone that I skipped over. So it does exist. And we may see these soon, 2027, 2028, who knows? You're welcome. Any more questions for tonight? If not, we're going to close it out. If there are no more questions, we're going to go back through the room and just let everybody kind of tell you what they have going on, give you their website, where you can find them at, and all that good stuff. And we're going to start it off with Julie, because you kicked it off, Miss Julie. Can you tell everybody any classes, events you got coming up, where's your website, how to find you, and anything else you got in between?
Sure. My name is Julie Jean Bassett. I can be found on facebook.com/J Bassett Animal Communicator. I've got a juliejeanbassett.com for my animal communication website, and whitetailshamanichealing.com for my shamanic energy healing. I do have a YouTube channel and an Instagram. I do have a animal chakra class coming up, which I'm going to talk about all 9 animal chakras, because yes, animals have 9, whereas humans only have 7. And, give some tips on how you can heal those chakras. Now, that's just a small portion of what I do when I'm doing energy healing on an animal, but it's a place to start, and it can help you if your fur baby is sick. I'm also going to have a class I'm still working on healing with the 4 directions. So some shamanic healing class coming up in the foreseeable future as well. But that's it for me.
Thank you, Miss Julie. Kimberly, what do you got coming up? How can they find you? How can they book with you?
So my website is psychickimberly.com altogether. I do have, if you're local, at the Edgar Casey Foundation on October 30th, I am doing a mediumship gallery reading. So that's what I have coming up, and then another one in May, I believe.
Thank you, Kimberly. All right, Annessa, what do you got going on this month, and how can they find you?
So, okay. So for me, my website is Intune Healing, and it's ENTUNE and then healing.com. You can also email me at the same intunehealing@gmail.com. And for me, boy, I've got some amazing classes. My teaching is all under Ethereal Awakening. So I have workshops under Ethereal Awakenings for meeting your guides, where I take you through a guided meditation. This is a group class. So I guide us through a meditation as a group to a sacred space, and where we meet a guide, we get a message. And then after that, I help you interpret your message. And then we talk about that experience. So that's one of the classes. I also teach Intuition 101. These classes are monthly, so every month I offer those. Intuition 101 covers a little bit of what I talked about today with intention, protection, grounding. And then I also teach you how to find your intuition, what your intuition sounds like, feels like, or if you see it, by finding your own personal yes, no. And we do activities in class that I guide you through. As a Reiki master, I'm hosting a new class called it's a Reiki refresher for those who are Reiki 2 and Reiki master attunement. And those are for people that have Reiki attunements but haven't used it, want a refresher, would like to work with clients, or just have questions and want to practice. So that's coming up as well. I do custom jewelry, where you can get a piece of jewelry from me that helps your energetic balance, helps you keep your vibration. So I do consults for that as well. So any of these things you can book with me on my website, as well as my normal psychic readings, mediumship, or healings.
Thank you, Annessa. All right, Miss Sue, you're next. What do you got going on and how can they find you? You muted, Miss Sue. You muted.
Muted.
How's that?
There we go.
Tech challenged. I have a lot going on. I have a wellness center in Ridgewood, New Jersey. So I have in-person as well as online stuff. Online next week on the 16th, I have a free class. It's called Where Does Your Disease Live? I want to teach everybody how to tune in and listen to their body and how to begin this healing process so that we peel away the things that are not us so that we can become our highest self. And then on the 22nd, I have a class called Online Celebration and Guided Meditation for Balance and Renewal. As we get closer to Halloween, more energies are opening. So we're going to do some fun stuff. In person, I have sound baths and crystal healing for community because our community, and I just want you all to hear, you are beautiful, bright lights, and our communities need the light. So get out and be with people. So I'm opening up more and more so that our community has a safe place to relax and to rebalance and gather. And I have an advanced healing class where I have people flying in November 8th and 9th to begin a journey in the Solomonic lineage, the esoteric lineage, where I'll be beginning and apprenticing for people that are ready for a deep dive into their spiritual journey, the hero's quest. And that's it.
Thank you, Miss Sue.
Thank
And
you.
then last but not least is me, Angel. Um, so what do I have coming? I'm actually teaching a class not on my Patreon for you guys if you want to sign up. The Hermetic Principles. It's going to be October the 26th at 6 p.m. Central via Google Meets. I love the Hermetic Principles, something I talk about, live by, and I'll try to practice daily. Other than that, you can find the rest of my classes on my Patreon, everything from chakra work to just beginning your journey to so much more. So that's where most of my workshops are taught, and my channelings and all that go on my Patreon. And then if you want to book an appointment with me, you can find me at soulrisehealing.com. Um, that is, oh, and I'm also doing in person now. That's right. We just established in Alabama. So if you're in Alabama, around the Florence, Alabama area, you can now book me in persons on Mondays or Fridays. So uh, that's what I have going on. Does anybody else, since we got a few minutes, anybody got any closing remarks they want to put in here? Any last minute words? Anything for the people, for the
I
collective?
just, well, I have one other thing I'd like to mention because you guys jogged my memory about the in person. For any Michigan people, I'm going to be in Holland, Michigan at the Holistic Health Fair November 1st. So I know that maybe there might not be any Michigan people in there, but I figured it's worth mentioning. And always, I guess I also want to say we do this meeting monthly. And I just want to thank everybody so much for coming with us here into this space and sharing this amazing space with us, sharing your feelings, asking these questions. I love this community, and to be able to connect with you guys on this level is just it's an honor. It really is. So I just want to thank everybody that took the time out of their day to come here and chat with us and have this discussion for the collective and raising consciousness and helping us all on this mission together. So thank you so much for everybody for that.
I agree. I also wanted to mention I have a psychic development workshop that's the first Sunday of every month. The next one is November 2nd. I just had my first one last Sunday, and the topics and the invites are going to be coming up soon for the new one. And thank you all for joining us. We had so much fun.
Thank
Can
you.
I-
And Kimberly,
Can
they
I
want to
just
know where. Sorry, Miss Sue. Somebody just wanted to know, Kimberly, where can they come? Where's Edgar Casey at? So they need to know where to come to see you.
It is in Virginia Beach. It is on 67th and Atlantic. So the north end of the beach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for asking.
Miss Sue, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to remind everybody, I'm going to send you a PDF on the how to create an ancestor altar. I'm sending it out tomorrow. So if you don't see it, check your promos. Everything gets
Or-
lost there,
Or
right?
spam folder.
Bam, yeah.
That's it. And also, you guys, so if anybody wants to know, if you're a member of my Patreon, you also get a session with me every month, by the way. So that's a promo of being a member of my Patreon. So you get a session with me. So I absolutely love Patreon because it's pretty awesome with that. All right. Anybody got anything else? If not, then I want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you for your time. I'm going to release everyone's energy back to them and call all of our energy back to us. And we're going to close this connection. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Bye.
Thank you, ancestors.
Thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you.